Hello YouTube and welcome back to another PIDA Kanto weekly show. Now, we're here again once again and we're in the playoffs, people. We are in the playoffs. So today there's only two games, both the green semi-finals in Kanto to decide who's the current champion, because obviously because of all the dropouts, there's no orange zone playoffs in Kanto this season because so many people dropped out. There was no point in doing a relegation playoff. So all we have is the green playoff. So the winner will obviously move on to the finals today, and the winner of that will win PIDA Kanto Division Season 1 and also get a franchise mon for next season of any mon on their team they so desire, as long as it's still in the appropriate tiers for next season, because we'll talk about that in the next video. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But we have our first playoff game, which is the Wellington Hoos versus the Pure Pidgeots. Now, out of the four coaches in the playoffs, the Pure Pidgeots are the only ones that are dropping out. So, if they win, then no one gets a franchise next season. But if they do win, obviously, if they win, they get a franchise in mind. And I've got a sneaking suspicion of which each of them are going to franchise. So, I'm going to have a lucky guess, but we'll see. But our first game, obviously, like I said, the Wellington Hoos versus the Pure Pidgeots, and the Wellington Hoos have brought Rotom Wash, Mega Charizard X, Tyranitar, Celesteela, George, and Garbodor, whereas the Pure Pidgeots are rocking Darmanitan, Mega Latios, so I say, Alomomola, Greninja, Silvally, and a Heatran. So, obviously, you've got Rotom Wash, which can deal with the Darmanitan and the Greninja really well, and the Alomomola, so Rotom Wash is going to be a good bring this week. Actually, it's a great bring, actually. Rotom Wash is super effective on 2/3 of his team. So, Rotom Wash is going to be very crucial for the Wellington Hoos' game. Obviously, he's got Mega Charizard X, which can potentially put in work depending on what Silvally said it is. It's a good matchup against the Latios as well. Tyranitar, once the two water shenanigans are out of the way, can potentially put in the work. Celesteela's not going to appreciate a Flare Blitz from Darmanitan or a Lava Plume from Heatran, so need to be careful with that. George is just amazing, so there's nothing bad to say about George. And then he's got Garbodor as well, probably there for spikes, toxic spikes, and stuff like that. And then obviously for the Pure Pidgeots, he's got Wish Alomomola, he's got Parting Shot Silvally, possibly Defog as well, if he brings rocks on his Celesteela or his obviously has on his Garbodor or his Tyranitar. He's got Mega Latias, which can scare him on. He's got probably Choice Scarf or Life Orb Darmanitan. He's got Heatran, which is probably can put into work. He's got obviously Protein Greninja, which is very also good solid mon. So let's jump into the game and see how things are going to go. So he leads with his Rotom Wash versus the Alomomola, as he switched out straight into Latios, predicting a Volt Switch. As he does go for the Volt Switch, he switched out into his Ambipom, and I'm thinking, yes, Ambipom is here. So he reveals his Silvally Fairy type, which is a good bring because it's good against the Charizard, it's good against the Tyranitar, but Celesteela with a Heavy Slam or Garbodor with a Gunk Shot can potentially put in work against this Silvally. So need to be careful about that one. So George comes out as he U-turns out, revealing Life Orb. So George's Life Orb with U-turns. Could switch out to Garbodor versus the obviously the Silvally as it goes for Parting Shot as Garbodor sets up its spikes. Goes down to his Air Balloon Heatran, predicting a Poison type move. So he goes out to Charizard as it goes for Lava Plume. And he Mega Evolves, and I think he goes for Dragon Claw at this stage, I do believe. Yeah, he goes to Dragon Claw, so it's immune. So good switch in there by the Pure Pidgeots. He goes for Fire Punch. Don't do a lot to Silvally as he Parting Shots out into Latios. Give him the opportunity to set up with Latios possibly as he goes into Celesteela. So he goes for Depulse. Does 15% to... So this Celesteela does eats up Thunderbolts for days from Mega Latios. That's 43%. And with Protect, Leech Seed, stalling can potentially stall it out if he plays it well. So he goes over to the Alomomola, predicting, I don't know, Protect, I'd guess. Gets free switch into Alomomola. As he goes for Whirlpool, trapping the Celesteela in with Whirlpool, as he Toxics the Alomomola in returns. Now, this is a set I tried to bring to counter out Alomomola when I played it in PIDA, when the Lost Ampharos Dreadful Dragonites had it. And, well, I tried doing it with a Tyrant. So it wasn't going to end well, was it? I've just tried it with a Tyranitar. But obviously, No, I used it for trap up Alomomola, but Alomomola's using the same tactic that I used. Well, not the same tactic, because I used... What did I use? Taunt Whirlpool. And I had a Iapa Papa Berry. I can't remember. I was way... But go check out that video, because it was a while ago, but go check it out. It's in the PIDA playlist. But, anyway, so this Alomomola is Whirlpool the Celesteela to trap it in, to try and stall it out. As he goes for the soak on the Celesteela as well, allowing him to toxic it, I do believe so. So you trapped in with Leech Seed damage, Whirlpool damage, go to protect, as he feels the toxic. Just trying to stall out the turns of Whirlpool there for the Wellington Harrows. So look, Leech Seed toxic is stacking up on that side of the field. Now this is a sight you don't see every day. You see a poisoned Celesteela. And that, my friend, is going to be very, 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 very crucial, because Celesteela is a bulky boy. And now it's on a toxic timer. Can't do the Leech Seed stalling it with 10-2. So Celesteela goes for the Earthquake just to get some chip off on the Alomomola. As Toxic and Leech Seed start racking up, Alomomola switches out into Mega Latios, predicting a Protect while the Whirlpool ends. Celesteela switches out into Tyranitar. Get that Sandstream up as it goes for the Thunderbolt, doing 20% to Tyranitar. So I'm thinking it's not Assault Vest, but he goes for the Surf, and so this Tyranitar's now +1 speed, +3 attack, and it's couldn't put in the work. But unfortunately, Latios still outspeeds it and kills with a Surf. So that is rip that dream of Tyranitar putting in work. Very unfortunate, because I think if it was Mega Latios, I think it was against... Is Mega Latios his fastest on his team, barring Greninja? I think it is. Maybe he tried to do... I think he brought Assault Vest so he could... For taking a Scold from Alomomola, so you know he'd live that every day of the week, get Super Effective off on against Alomomola, and then get the +2, and then start Dragon Dancing up, and then potentially sweeping with Tyranitar. So doesn't go out to play. So he goes out into Ambipom, as he goes out into Silvally Fairy. He goes for the Tail Slap, hitting once, twice, 3, 4, 5. Ambipom picks up a kill. I'm so good. Yes, George. George is just the best. George is best. Out comes Greninja versus the Ambipom as he switches out into a Celesteela, sacking this thing off, which you think he does. Yep, Celesteela goes down. And out comes Sandstorm ends, and out comes a Rotom Wash, predicting a Volt Switch, I'd imagine. Goes down to a Alomomola, which is very interesting. I don't know why he went out into a Alomomola at this point. Because I would have went out into Mega Latios, most probably, because it resists... Does it Latios? It doesn't resist electric, does it? No. But it wouldn't have been super effective. I don't know how... Maybe Latios... How much health is Latios on? I can't tell, because I'm not actually in the game. But I think it's on like 70, 60%. A Volt Switch probably can do... What? 20, 30%? But maybe Mega Latios is more important late game for in the Pure Pidgeot's mind than Alomomola was. So out comes the Heatran versus the Garbodor. As he switches out to Rotom Wash, predicting a Fire Blast. Gets a crit into 55% of his Rotom. It's very unfortunate. As he switches out to Mega Latios this time, as he goes for the Hydro Pump, does 23% to the Mega Latios. As he switches out to Garbodor, taking a Dragon Pulse, which he doesn't take it often. So he goes into Garbodor to sack this thing off. That's probably why he went into it. Because George puts in the work. Charizard X can potentially put in the work, and so can Rotom. So he switches out, sacks off Garbodor to go into Ambipom as he U-turns out, kills Mega Latios, and Ambipom's got 2 kills. Love it. Ambipom just putting in the work. I love seeing other people use Ambipom using it well, because it only seems to be me using Ambipom ever, and I never get to see anyone else use it, which makes me very happy. It really does. But Latios goes down as he goes down into the Rotom Wash. Out comes Greninja, and he U-turns out, living Life Orb out into his Heatran as he goes for the Volt Switch, popping the Heatran's balloon as he goes out into Mega Charizard X. As he goes for Earthquake, kills the Heatran, down goes Heatran, out comes Greninja to go for, I think he goes for Ice Beam at this point. Yeah, it goes for Ice Beam. Does 41% to this Greninja as he goes for Dragon Claw. Greninja goes down, and it's all down to Domanitan to take on the world. So Domanitan reveals he's outspeeds Life Orb, gets the Earthquake off, kills the Greninja. Now, not Greninja, the Charizard. Now, I was watching this game live, and at this stage I was thinking, right, Domanitan just wins because it outspeeds Rotom, outspeed the Ambipom, but I don't think Ambipom can kill it one hit. So I was thinking, right, why is he going to Rotom? Why didn't he go into Ambipom, possibly kick Fake Out, then switch out into Rotom, sack that thing off, and switch it? Because double Fake Out might have done it. Two Fake Outs, and then whatever move potentially Ambipom can hit it with will probably kill it. But Rotom, I'm thinking, right, he's lost. This Rotom has to be Choice Scarfed. It has to be Choice Scarfed. It really does. It has to be Choice Scarfed, otherwise he will not send it in. And judging by the discussion earlier, he was calcing all this stage if Volt Switch was a 2-co on this thing. Because at that point he could Volt Switch out with this thing, go into Ambipom, sack that thing off, and pretty much do the same as what I said originally with the Fake Out of Ambipom, but doing the reverse, so doing with Rotom instead. Because he could just click Hydro Pump here, and if he missed, that would have been GG, game over, new reads. But Hydro Pump's got a 5 hard chance to miss, so he wanted to make sure he could win the game with the Volt Switch. So I think he does go for the Volt Switch, because he calced it, and it did 53%. So he switched that into his Ambipom, sacking Ambipom off with the Flame Charge. Now, I was thinking, right, Flame Charge, my god, this is a planned Sentry. He predicted the Choice Scarf, goes for Flame Charge, so that means he outspeeds the Rotom with +1, and then everyone in the chat was like, oh my god, it's the best player. And then we all realised that the Mantan gets Sheer Force, so it doesn't get the speed boost from Flame Charge. And they were like, that was the best play in the world, but it doesn't work because freaking Darmanitan doesn't get the boost from Flame Charge. So that was very annoying, because if it didn't get Sheer Force, if it got the +1 speed boost, the Pure Pidgeot would have won this game. They would have won the game, but they didn't, because Flame Charge didn't activate. And I was like, oh my god. Wait, oh, yeah. Like in the chat, as you can see there. Like, oh, what, lol, shit, Sheer Force, rip. Rip, GGG, rip. So, that was very unfortunate, because if that paid off, that would have been the play of the century. That would have been absolutely amazing. But it would have been absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, it didn't pay off. So the Wed Heroes come through, picking up that W, making progress to battling. They're in the final, and I'm calling it now. I'm thinking this boy here is going to be their franchise mom. This or Tyranitar is going to be their franchise mom. I can guarantee it, 100%. If he doesn't, despite me, that's fair enough. If you actually franchise Ambipom, I would freaking support you to win Season 2 again, because you franchise Ambipom, you franchise George. I want to see George franchise. If you win Went and Hoos and you franchise Ambipom, I'm going to praise you in every single Season 2 Kanto Weekly show. Whatever happens, I'm going to praise you and be on your side if you do that. Swear to God. Absolutely swear to God. No bias. I'm not like FIFA, corrupt as hell, but if you do that, I'm going to support you. Whatever happens, I'm going to be your #1 fan if you do that. So, no pressure. So we move on to our other semi-final game, where we have the Black Sea Curans versus the Sinnoh Starlets. Now, these teams only played each other, 2 weeks ago? In week 14? And now they're back again. Obviously, that previous game, they didn't. That original game in the league was played week 1. So it's been freaking forever since those two played each other in the last game. But this game, they already played 2 weeks ago, so they had time to learn about the teams and the matchups like recently. So it's fresh in their minds, and they could use that to see if they can carry it through to this semi-final game, with the Black Sea Curans bringing the MVP of the league, Mega Medicham, Tornadus Furion, Magearna, Kieran Black, Slowbro, and Steelix, whereas the Sinnoh Stars are rocking Mega Gardevoir, Hooper Unbound, Araquanid, Volcarona, Sylveon, and Nidoking. So, yeah. Look at the matchups. If the Sinnoh Stars can get webs up, Gardevoir, Sylveon, Hooper Unbound, Nidoking, Volcarona, just runs riot, really. That's pretty much the setup for the Sinnoh Stars this week. If they can get webs up, that'd be great. But the likes of Tornadus does get defog, so needs to be careful about that thing. So if Sean can get webs up, that is game over. Pretty much game over. Well, not game over, but it's going to be in the Sinnoh Starlet's favour if webs are up, and you can potentially sweep with likes of Hooper Unbound and whatnot. But Mega Cham's a scary mon. Kieran Black's a scary mon. Magina, I don't like it. I don't like using it, but it seems to be like, oh my god, Magina's the best mon ever. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's not. When I use it, it's terrible. It's not a freaking Ambipom, is it? Or Blacephalon? Or Bruxish, is it? No. So fine. It's not a Magina. But Steelix, Slowbro are the bulk of the team. Obviously, Slowbro Regenerator. Steelix has got really stupid high defense and can run Stealth Rocks and probably. So, let's jump to the game. Because I didn't watch this game live. So, this game's new to me as well as to you guys if you've not watched this game already. So, jump to the game. Nidoking is the lead versus the Kieran Black. You switch out into his Gardevoir, taking a Dragon type move as he goes for the Ice Beam. Does 63% to Gardevoir as he goes out into his Magina. Mega Evolves and goes for Hyper Voice. Does nothing because obviously Magina resists it. Reading leftovers on his Magina. Out comes a Araquanid, picking a Steel type move. As he Volt switches out into Kieran Black. Probably going to go for a Fusion Bolt, which he does go for. And Araquanid goes down. And that's... Why did Sean stay in? Why did the Sinnoh Starlet stay in against the Kieran Black? Because Fusion Bolt was probably off his play. Unless he thought he's going to think I'm going to switch out and go for an Ice Beam. That's my only reasoning that he'd switch out. Because you knew he wasn't going to click Dragon Claw. He's got two Fairy types right there, and they were like too obvious to switch in. So that's a big blow because webs are going to be very crucial for this team to beat the Black Sea Curums, and our webs are gone just like that. So things are going to be uphill from here now. So Volcarona is out versus the Steelix as the Quiver Dance is up. Not the greatest matchup versus the Steelix as he goes for Fiery Dance. Steelix lives on the Sturdy as he goes for Rock Slide. Down goes Volcarona. So Steelix picking up a kill there. Out comes Nidoking to try and finish off this Steelix, which the Black Sea Curums just stack off. As out comes Kieran Black versus the Nidoking. As he goes for the Ice Beam, reveals that he is Choice Scarfed, I want to say? Must be. Because why would Nidoking stay... Why would he stay in on a... Kieran Black. Where's the Nidoking? Why am I so tired? I don't even know. But it's the Gardevoir versus Magina. Goes for Hyper Voice. Obviously, eats up the Hyper Voices for days, Miss Magina. As Gardevoir goes for Light Screen. Now, it's a good play because obviously Magina can still hit with physical special moves. So can the Tornado, so can the Slowbro. Curum's obviously mixed, so his only physical threat left is Mega Medicham. And with two Fairies left, not that actually going to be wise. So out comes Slowbro. As Gardevoir goes for Hyper Voice. As Slowbro starts setting up Calm Minds. Goes for Hyper Voice again. Lives on 4%. Goes for Scald. Does 20% to Gardevoir. Out comes Tornadus. As he goes for Hyper Voice. Trying to stall out these light screen turns. Goes for U-turn. Out into Slowbro. So he goes for another Hyper Voice. Slowbro goes down. So Slowbro gets sacked off, but the light screen is gone. So out comes Tornadus to go for U-turn to knock out this Mega Gardevoir. And out comes Kieran Black versus the last two mons, the Hooper Unbound and the Sylveon. Sylveon comes out as he goes for Fusion Bolt. Does just over half as Sylveon goes for Hyper Voice. Goodbye, Kieran Black. And now Medicham comes out and just outspeeds this mon and just goes for Bullet Punch and knocks this thing out. Do you need to outspeed it? Because Bullet Punch just OHKOs it. So out comes Hooper Unbound as he goes for Drain Punch, outspeeds, and Hooper Unbound goes down. And that is the Black Sea Curums winning 3-0. Mega Medicham once again being the MVP. I think it was joint MVP this week with Rotom Wash. But Mega Medicham put in the work. And as Sean has put in the chat, as you can see above me, webs, not getting webs up, one was GG. As soon as Araquanid died, that was GG because webs were very crucial for the Sinnoh Starlet to win that game. Potentially could have been Scarf Hooper. That might have put in some work over webs, but I don't know. But webs were very, very crucial for that game for the Sinnoh Starlets. And yeah, that's the wrap for the week semi-final playoffs of Kanto Weekly Show. Now, this is the point of the show where I go over the table, but there is no table because next week is the final between the Wellington Ho-Ohs versus the Black Sea Curums. Now, if I remember correctly, I think the Black Sea Cubes won that game in the regular season. So the Wednesday Ho-Ohs need to go over that game, work out what to do to stop them. Obviously, his best 2 months in Mega Man Champions and Cube Black, to be honest. So I have a sneaking position that if the Black Sea Cubes win, they're gonna franchise Mega Man Champ. That's my bet. I think he's gonna franchise the hell out of Mega Man Champ. So yeah, that is it for PIDA Kanto Weekly Show this week. It's 20 minutes long. That's because we've only done 2 games. We usually do about 5 or 6. We've only done 2 this week, so it's under half an hour. My God! If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like button down below. Leave some comments down below of any ways you can think I can improve this series for season 2 when that drops. Probably late February, so about a month. Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks after. So there's one more next week, and then there'll be a 2 or 3 week gap, and then we'll be back with season 2, week number 1. So leave any comments of how I can improve the series or whatnot. Just let me know down in the comment section down below. Be subscribed if you're not already, because we're trying to climb the table. We need to catch up with Doc Slack and Dreadful Dragonite with subs. So if you could subscribe and you're not already, that would be much, much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!